Okay, now we're back at part two. This is dig deeper. I think when you dig deeper, it's just really digging deeper is another phrase for getting to know yourself better. Um, or let me take that back. Heal yourself. Um, if you have a smart mouth, your parents probably had a smart mouth. If you like to fight, they were very aggressive. They probably did. It doesn't just come out of thin air. So I don't want you to, get upset. And, sometimes I think we get upset and, we're doing this stuff and we're out of control. This stuff comes from somewhere. You have a family pathology. Look it up. Everybody has a family pathology. And if we don't start doing the work, it's like I said, it's the lost generation. We cannot continue to not do the work on ourselves, then get with men that are broken and not doing their work, and then have broken children. That's not gonna work anymore. And I think women should, there's a saying: if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. And since we don't understand, don't know and understand who we are, I think we tend to accept relationships that dishonor us. For instance, if you're with a man that is, cheating on you, or has cheated on you, and I know we all like to think, oh girl, he's a man, and that's the common thing, but it's not a common thing. It is a common thing, but it's not good behavior. It's not supposed to be accepted behavior. I think when you get to know yourself, you find out what your non-negotiables are. Your non-negotiables are things that you will not tolerate under any circumstances. You're just not gonna do it. Like, I have 5 non-negotiables, and one of them is honesty. That means that no matter what, I'm honest, even if it hurts. If I did something to somebody, I can be woman enough to apologize. If just honesty, just being honest, not being honest when it's convenient for me, but just being honest. Like, I'm an honest person, so I'm not going to accept a man that's not honest. I'm not going to deal with, under any circumstances, a cheating man that when I know about it. If I dealt with you, I probably didn't know, but trust me, once I found out, it was one and done. We were done. It's nothing else. Because I think more of myself. I think it's more to life than a man. Or let me bring it home. I think it's more to life than penis, penetration, dick. You know what I'm saying? I think it's more to life than that. Like I always say, I tell people all the time, and I think people get tired of me saying it, but I'm like, you can get dick when you can't get water. I'm just saying. And dick should not be your motive in a relationship. It should be, one of the things, but it should not be the only thing that rules your decision as to why you have chose a particular man or suitor to be in your life. I think that that you should be the type that's accepting a man based on your standards. And that might mean that some of us as females need to elevate our standards or bring them up to par. If your standard is, girl, I don't care if he cheat, just long as he come home, that you need to up your game. You need to up the standard, because that's nothing. And I think, if all he got to do is just come home, you're not giving him enough. You're not letting him be a man, because if you don't expect a lot out of him, he's not going to give you. You can't expect, a dime to produce a nickel, or you can't expect a nickel to produce a dime. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? You can't be 10 and producing lower than 10, or you can't be a nickel wanting 10% out of wanting a dime out of a nickel. It's not gonna happen. You gotta have, if you want a high standard of, you know, not living let me say this correct. If you want a man, a real man, you need to have standards that of the things that you want. You can't look at him and just, oh girl, he just come home to me, and then tomorrow you expecting him to work a job when he probably won't even work a job. You know, you told him, well, as long as you come home to me, and then the next day if he got his foot kicked up on the coffee table, you like, why you ain't working? Well, you just told him all he had to do was come home to you. So if that's all he got to do to be with you, that's what he gonna do. A man is gonna do what you allow him to do, you know. And this is back to our power, ladies. We have the power. Like, you know, we have the power. And I'm not saying this I'm not doing I'm not pro feminine, pro this, you know, and pro, you know, all this, well, the women are better than the men. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about we have the power, as Steve Harvey has already said, we have the power to have a standard in our life, and have men to rise, allow them to rise to the standard, and not be so quick to give in, you know, to let them in and let them, come in. So I can, for example, I can say that I've done that. I've been quick at, you know, the being in the relationships and having sex and not allowing them to, you know what I'm saying, step up and do what they need to do. And I'm no longer doing that. You have to, you have to be, I wrote down the type of man that I want, and you know, the type of man that I want. I got that. I wrote that down. I know what I want, and I know how I want it. So, for instance, things that I've been doing that were incorrect, like, you know, if you know, for instance, if you did a one-night stand, did those two, it won't be no one-night stands. I did the 30-day rule. I did all of that. You know, it's not even gonna be that. It'll be 30 days or more, and it has been 30 days or more. But we need to create standards where, okay, is this man good? Is he the one for me? You know, allow that time. If it takes a year, if it takes 2 years, you know, whatever. Just have your standards. For instance, like I said, you know, no more one night stands. You allow him to, okay, we going out to lunch. No more night dates. Because when we do night dates, we do the nightcap. And when we do the nightcap, things get, you know, I don't want to get my judgment clouded or, you know, tainted about you. So we're going to do lunch, or we're going to go for coffee in the morning. Because some girls like, girl, he ain't taking you out to dinner and spending all this big money on you and da-da-da-da-da. That's in the first beginning, you getting to know this person. So that's not important. That shouldn't be your goal. And I'm going to do a video on that too about, you know, the gold diggers. I've been one of them too. So we're going to talk about that. That'll be another video. But yeah, we need to dig deep, you know, and we need to accept relationships that honor who we are. So that means you need to know what you want in a man, but not just that. What do you want for you in your life that you want this man to bring in? You know, we as women have no standards for ourselves or non-negotiables, so we accept a lot. For instance, if you don't have no standard, when you get this fine-looking man and he putting it down in the bedroom and he knocking your ass out every night, you're gonna take it because you don't have a standard. If you knew you was better than that before you got with him, then you wouldn't have allowed it. So you have to have a standard. That's very clear. And this will be the standard is the blueprint, you know, for how you live your life. So I admonish you and I encourage you to do the work. Do the work. I wouldn't have known with the situation with a family member of mine. I wouldn't have known that was a problem had I not been doing the work. I knew it was a problem when I sat down with my sister and my daughter, because I was already doing work, but I hadn't got to that part yet. I hadn't got to that issue yet. So now that I'm at that issue, it was quick for me to diagnose it and say, you know what? This is really what it is. I told everybody it wasn't, but this is what it is, and I have accepted that. I think the biggest problem, the reason why I didn't get it straight when when it happened with my friend, is because I wasn't willing to accept what I knew. And I think once we find out what our pathologies are, we need to be able to accept the pathologies. It doesn't make you a bad person. It's just that anytime a woman has a child and a man, the temperaments are already inborn. They're innate. If you got this crazy temper, your child probably gonna have a crazy temper. And being that, we have to be honest with ourselves enough and not be arrogant enough to think that our attitudes and how we carry ourselves and how we conduct ourselves does not affect our children. That it does. It does. Right, wrong, and indifferent. It does. So that's why you got to not be chicken and do the work. Do the work. Study your pathology. See who was abused, who was molested, who was raped, who was drinking in the family, who told the lies, who was the manipulator. I learned a lot about my grandmother and how she did a lot of manipulating my mother's father, and I'm gonna do a video on that. But that's one of my pathologies. I've manipulated men, but it didn't start with me. It started with my grandmother. Do I blame her for it? No. I know that that's in my pathology, so it's automatically going to be brought down into me. And so now that I've studied it, I know it, I've exposed it, I've healed from it, then I have to make another choice to grow from it. You grow through what you go through. And that's the extent of my life. Even with the situation with my cousin, you grow through it. I'm done with it because I knew it when it happened what it was, and I was able to accept it and grow through it. Done. We don't have to take 10 and 15 and 20 years to heal anymore. We can study our pathologies, get to know them, and go ahead and deal with them and handle them as they should be handled. This is it, because I know I can just go on and on. This is it. I'm gonna do another video, so look out for my next video. It will be very interesting and very juicy. As I told you, I'm gonna be talking a lot about my life. I'm gonna be vulnerable. I'm gonna put myself out there because I feel like I can help somebody who has been where I've been and have experienced what I have experienced. And I think we should all do more of this, because I think people walk around like they're perfect and that they have no problems. And I'm getting into relationships is something big I've always been interested in, and I will continue to study. I've studied through my bad habits and through my manipulative ways. I've studied through being the good girl, being on the other side, and then I've studied through being a bad girl. So I want to present my situations and my experiences, and I want to present tools, effective tools that I know will work, that I have used and that are using to do things different, to make another choice, not to become what my pathologies are, not to make another choice. My grandparents and my parents lived this way. I just choose not to live this way. So for instance, my dad was abusive. He abused us. He abused my mom. So I don't abuse my child. I have never abused her or physically beat her. You know what I'm saying? So, and if I did, I apologize, but I've never done that, like, on any level, like, no. So, I just want everybody to understand, that, we got to do the work. We just got to stop ignoring it and stop acting like we don't have no problems, because we do, for women, if I hate to say it, if you a hoe, your parent, you probably, your parents, your grandmother, some folks gonna be offended. If you have the pathology of a hoe, if your grandmama, somebody in your family was a hoe, and so you gotta own it. You just need to own it. It may not look right, smell right, or feel right, but it's the truth. It's your pathology. It's where you come from. So I think when we're honest with ourselves about where we come from, studying our pathologies, our what do you call it? I don't know the name for it. Studying our pathology, studying our lineage. And another thing, a lot of good things come out of the lineage that you study as well. My great grandmother Nate was into fashion. That's why I love fashion so much, and makeup and all things beauty. It's so much of your purpose in life that you find out just from the people before you. So it's not just about, oh, let me go dig up this little evil stuff, but it's also about good stuff. You know, my grandmother did, she might have been a manipulator. She might have did a lot of things wrong. She might have had a reputation in the community. You know what I'm saying? But the legacy that she left is that she fixed her fuck up. What I mean by that is she turned her life around. She wasn't continuing to be this person. She changed the manipulative to, I'm going to be a person in the community. They're not going to know me for this. They're going to know me for this. You know what I'm saying? So we get to make a choice. That's the power of choice, is that we get to make another choice. It's always two roads. If you've been going down this road and it's not been working for you, you have the power of choice to say, guess what? I don't want to go down this road no more. Let me switch lanes. I want to go over here and do it this way. Try it this way. Make another choice. Okay? So I just want to say that. Glad that I could talk to you guys today, and you're looking at my video. And please subscribe to Landis TV. I'm also on Facebook at Landis Turner. I'm going to also be sharing my videos there too as well, and eventually get on Twitter and Instagram. I'm going to do a little bit at a time because I'm trying to get all this connected with some other stuff that I'm doing. But I just wanted to let you guys know that I am, you know, a human being, and I just want to help somebody else that's been where I've been, and to make another choice and to live a better life. You know, live better. You know, if your mama been doing drugs for years, make a better choice. Live better. You don't have to repeat what they did. You don't have to repeat the pathology. So until next time, check out my next video. Landis TV on YouTube and Facebook. Bye.